It's Jason.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Let's Talk Sports. I am your host. I'm along with my co-host, who I can barely see because he in the dark,
I'm
Brian.
trying.
We got a special co-host today, but first, let's get started with our intro. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Brian, what's going on, man?
You know, another day, another
All
day,
right.
man.
I'd like
All
to let everybody know that congratulations. But first, before we do our congratulations, let me bring in our co-host, our special guest coming to the stage tonight, Mrs. Better Half.
oh man, that's
What's going on, Kayla?
What's going on?
Everything is lovely. Everything is lovely. Glad to have you on the show tonight.
Don't
It's
forget
been
your
a long
birthday.
time coming. I see you got your sidekick with you. Hey.
Hi.
I told your husband why is he in the dark hiding from everybody? We could barely see him, but
The
it,
light back there is so crappy. It's ridiculous.
it's good to see you. Before we get started, I want to congratulate Brian and Walter, because me and Kayla, we don't really like saying this, but I want to congratulate those two, the Steel Pit and South Florida Steelers, for making the finals in the Let's Talk Sports Fantasy Football League. I think me and Kayla got cheated,
We did.
but yeah, we got cheated. But I want to see, they got 2 weeks to battle it out. Kayla, unfortunately, me and you are playing each other for third place.
Yep.
So,
Let's
third,
hope they can beat you as long as Mahomes gets his head out of his ass.
I know, man. Mahomes has been really playing bad the last couple of weeks.
Shitty.
I don't know what's going on with him,
yeah,
but
but listen, you have to understand something. Mahomes does not have who he used to have. So now you put players out there, and you already know they're going to double Kelsey. They're going to double him every game. So no, he's not going to have the same numbers. The thing with Mahomes is you might be down 20 points. Don't give that man the football because
yeah,
I'm telling you, he can make things happen. He always does.
But he's got a lot to prove to me because for the last, 8 weeks, he has not got me more than like 12, 14 points.
Why does he have a lot to prove to you? Because you want to win third place?
No, because
yeah,
he
because he
hasn't got
wanna-
me shit. Everybody's talking, oh, Mahomes this, Mahomes that. Well, Mahomes ain't being Mahomes.
Well, can I tell you what to do? Can I tell you what to do this week?
No.
Start Browning.
You guys are in the same.
You
what you
got
think?
nothing to lose. Put Browning in. Let him throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns and 2
But
interceptions. And I guarantee you, he
And
gets better
who
numbers.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait
they
a minute.
play Cincinnati though.
Yeah, Kansas City playing Cincinnati, I would leave Mahomes in the game
Exactly.
because
No way.
Cincinnati is struggling. God, who is Browning playing against?
I'm not leaving it.
Brian,
what?
since you suggested it, who is Browning playing against?
I thought they were playing Kansas
They
City.
play KC.
Yeah, they
Oh,
play Kansas City.
okay.
Yeah,
So you
I
think
would
you think
100%.
you think Browning is going to play better than Mahomes?
No.
I think Browning has more options than Mahomes does right now. You know what I mean? Mahomes has Kelsey. They're going to double him no matter who you are. And here's the thing. The Chiefs are in the playoffs pretty much, and the Bengals are fighting for the playoffs because that's just the way it is in that division. And if you have a quarterback that's been throwing for 320 yards a game and 2 touchdowns minimum, I think sometimes you have to take a chance with certain people. And this guy, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it now, and I hope everybody remembers. He will 100% be the next Brock Purdy. I'm telling you, this kid is good. This kid is good. Listen, Rod, nobody said this exactly what your reaction was when people said Brock Purdy was going to be something. He's leading the league in almost every category. He had a bad week this week.
Nobody really actually thought Brock Purdy was going to be anything. It's just that he showed out, and it's mainly because of the team that he had around him. You got a bunch of stars around you. All 100%. You got to do is not make a mistake like he's been doing like he did last week. Those 4 interceptions last week were horrible.
That was a bad game. But
and that's what kept me in the game with him. He only beat me by what, 2 points?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Brock Purdy stunk up the place last week. Mm-hmm. And
I cannot believe I'm staring at the screen with her on it. You're kidding me. Unbelievable.
I told you we had a special surprise guest coming on today.
Yes,
and aren't you surprised?
Unbelievable.
And you are surprised. We had to find somebody who is just as good as the Big Cheese, because the Big Cheese is in Jamaica right now, probably drinking a bunch of Jamaican rum. But he should be back. He should be back next week. I hope he's having a good time. You know, it's so bad in Jamaica, he couldn't even text me. He had to text me on WhatsApp because his text don't work in Jamaica. But he'll be back next week. So how was Christmas, Brian? Kayla, how was Christmas?
It was good.
It was okay.
Did y'all eat good? Because I sent y'all a picture of what I ate, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
It took me 2 days to eat that steak.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, dude. I saw that. Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Well, I'm not gonna eat like that for New Year's because I will be in North Carolina at the casino.
I'm
going to casino New Year's Eve.
You're taking me with you, right?
Come on, yeah, you're always welcome to come on.
All right.
I'm gonna be at the casino
with the kids, and I'm gonna go with you.
I'll be on the casino at the 31st, bringing in New Year's, and I'll be there the 1st, and I'm coming back the 2nd.
Nice.
So it's a 2-hour drive. I'm gonna drive up there, play me some craps, play me some. I wish I was going to Cherokee, North Carolina, because I just got a email that Cherokee, North Carolina. Cherokee said if I come there for New Year's Eve, they would give me $200 free play.
Yeah, they giving up some money, man.
But that's further down the road, and I don't feel like going that far. So I'll go to Valley River. Valley River's giving me $50 free play, and then they're giving me what they call a mystery free play, which usually is only $20, but I'll take what I can.
Right?
Anything. All I need to do is hit a bonus and get a jackpot, and I'll be good to go with their free money. Really, Brian?
Peg.
Yeah, hey, sometimes it just happens. It just happens. And what does she do? Like, are you kidding me? Her?
Larry, excuse me. Larry Hall say, what kind of steak? Larry, I have a tomahawk steak. Let me see, Larry. If I might be able to pull it up and let the world see.
Hey, put it out there because listen, Larry, I don't know you, but listen to me. When he sent me the picture, good gracious. It was
like a dinosaur steak.
Yeah, calm down, everybody. Calm down.
Oh man, that shit was ridiculous.
It was a beautiful thing, and my sister seasoned it up just right. There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Look at that thing. Are you kidding me? Hey, listen, you don't even have to have teeth, and you can eat that. That's
That
ridiculous, man.
that thing was great. That thing was delicious. Like I said, it took me 2 days to eat it. And you see, if you notice, I only got a little bit of mashed potatoes and one corn on the cob because I was more interested in trying to eat that steak.
Yeah, but hey, so Rod, let me ask you, what do you think? About 24 ounces, 28 ounces?
No, that steak
That's
was
a that's a big
it was
steak.
if I'm not mistaken, it was on sale. That's the good thing. It was on sale. That steak was 26 ounces.
Good
That's what
lord.
I'm saying. It was in that
Yeah, man,
range. Yeah.
that thing was
Boy,
delicious.
let me tell you what, bro. That shit's ridiculous.
The way and look, what we did was we seared it on top of the stove in a cast iron skillet, and then we put it in the oven because it's so thick. You have
Yeah.
to you can't cook it on the stove.
Now, because you'll burn it up.
Right. Larry, I got it from Sam's. And when I went to Sam's, it
Ooh.
was on sale. So I got three of them. One for me, one for my sister, and one for my niece. Of course, my sister, we all ate only half of it. But that thing was, oh my God. They put some I think they put rosemary on top of it when they put it in the oven. My niece seasoned it up the night before. She had all these different kind of seasonings on it, man. It was delicious. Delicious.
Hey Rod, let me ask you something real quick.
Sure.
On a whole nother level. I know she's your daughter, but I remember when she was this itty bitty little thing. I don't remember her name, man. Um,
Her name is Wanisha.
yeah, yeah, because she used to live down where we live, and you
Yep.
used to
Yep.
have her all the time.
Her name was Rodnisha. She is no
Yes,
longer a
absolutely.
itty she's no longer an itty bitty girl. Rodnisha, she still lives down there. She
Hey,
lives in
hey, hey, hey! I gotta tell you something. I love that kid to death. That kid, because you know why? First of all, you always brought her everywhere.
yeah.
No matter what was going on, you brought her with you. And I just remember her being this itty bitty little thing, and I knew she was gonna grow up eventually. But so she's all grown now. She got to be like 30
Yeah.
years old.
No, she just turned. I don't know why you say 30. She just turned 24, young man. Get your get
So
your
I'm
get your
hey, I'm pretty close,
hey,
man.
nothing. You ain't even close. I don't know what you're talking
Hey,
about. You close.
she was so funny, man. She was so funny. Oh man, she reminded me of a female version of Josh. She was just so funny. That kid was great, man. I loved her. She was great.
And you know what? She's turned out to be a good a cook as her dad.
Well, how can
She
she
can
not?
cook. She can cook just as good as me. But she went to culinary school because she wanted to get a
Cool.
job, cooking. But she's working at Walmart down there now.
That's a good
But
company to be working for. That's a
yeah, they
good
got good
company to be
benefits.
working for. They got big
And plus,
benefits.
if you ever decide to move, you could be transferred anywhere in
They'll
the
move
United
you.
States. And
Yeah,
there's Walmart everywhere.
absolutely.
So I told her, I said, let me know what you want to do because I got Walmarts. I got three Walmarts within 5 miles of me.
They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, but that's good because we can
No,
always go there.
Use that.
Kayla, listen to me. Let me tell you about the ultimate little girl. First off, she had attitude just like Rod, but she carried herself very respectfully. But if you said something, she would tell you, "Hey, now we're not doing that."
You can
And
come
she
over
was
here.
like
We're not
8.
doing that.
I think she might have been about 8 when I met her, and she broke she literally opened me. She was a great little kid, and I know she still is, but she's all grown now.
She's not
But I
little anymore.
remember her. I remember all the stuff that we went through, and I just remember Rod always being that dad. Like, hey man, this is my kid. You could be who you want to be, but this is my kid. And he did that with all his kids, and amazing, just
I
amazing.
even did that with Brian and
Yep,
Jason.
busy. Yeah, one thing I can tell you about Rod is now I remember one incident where I got a phone call one night and there was some shit going on at the bowling alley. So I said,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I'm on the move. And I said, hey man, I'm on the move. So, because Rod knows if you call me and tell me something's going on, I'm coming to rock it. And I remember when I got there, it had something to do with some taxes from somebody or something, but we don't need to get into that. But I just
Right.
remember knowing that could Rod have handled himself? 100%. But why not invite the crowd? I wanted to do that. Like I'm walking the bowling alley and I got my chest out and I was 150 pounds, you know, and I'm walking like, hey, who wants to do this? Does anybody want to do this right now? Because I promise you don't want to do this. And then I go into the bar, and my dog is in tears, and I'm like, what's going on? And he tells me, I'm like, well, I'll handle this right now. And then I remember trying to walk out the bar, and then Dave, of all people, because Dave would rock anybody. He grabbed me, told me to come inside, but let's just let it be. But listen, me and Rob been through a lot. We even been through times where, oh hell no, look at her, dude. She's all grown up. Look at her.
And that's an old picture there.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
ugly in that picture.
You don't have
I
the
know,
beard.
man. I know. I was trying to stay young. I don't want to be young no more. I'm glad I'm getting old now.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, me and Brian, we used to get in some altercations, but
Hey Rob, remember that? Hey, remember that time we were bowling in the league on Friday night, and that one team that was such a great team. They were so nice to everybody, but they had that one dude that used to hang out with them, and he would cut up and blah 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 blah. And I guess I mean I don't know what happened because I was trying to bowl, and Rod had got tired of the shit, and the dude went into the bathroom, and Rod's like, "Well, I gotta pee too."
I
And
gotta
I
pee too.
swear to God, I turned around, and this dude was laying on the ground,
Yep.
sleeping. And the people came up to us, and they were like, "Hey, please just tell me you're not gonna do no more." We're like, "Well, we didn't want to do that, but we had to do." Oh, dude, Rod lit that boy up, lit him
I
up.
remember that.
Yeah, I walked into the bathroom because I had to actually take a piss, and I went, "Oh hell no, I'm out of here." And I turned around and got. I didn't want no shit. Dude, he lit that boy up, and that dude was talking shit for like 2 hours. Fuck y'all, this blah 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 blah. He wasn't even bowling. And Rod kept saying, "Listen, I'm not gonna mess with this guy unless he makes me." Rod went to the bathroom, and I hate to tell you, buddy, I already know. I know why you went to the bathroom, dummy. I'm not shitting me, I know. And that dude turned his head one time, and Rod lit him up, and I walked in there, and I turned around, and I was like, "Nah, hell no, I'm out of here," because I was already on probation in that bowling alley. I didn't want no problems, and I said, "No, I'm out." And I walked out, and Rock was out. I said, "What'd you do?" And I knocked that motherfucker. I said, "Yeah, you did." He was on the ground.
Time to go.
Hey, Rock.
Good thing we were finished bowling.
Yeah, he was on the ground with his mouth open. He was breathing through his mouth. I'm like, oh hell no. Yeah, that was.
Oh my God.
Those were good times. Those were good times.
It was the good old days.
Hey, 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row we won that Friday league, and I think a lot of it might have had to do with the fact that nobody wanted to bowl. Me, Rod, Dave, and Lisa bowled as our female. Yeah, people didn't want to mess with us. They don't want to mess with us. But we
Yeah,
had a good
like
time though.
I'll say, Rod sounds like the old Parkway days. There was the back then days. I'm more pacifist now. I
Of
don't do
course,
violence no more.
of course. Nah, that's the way it should be.
No more violence.
Nah.
Just being a great dad and a good brother and a good uncle. That's
Hey,
all I
hey, hey,
mean.
but I will, hey, but I will say one thing. If it comes to family, and this is just me, I'm not gonna speak for anybody else. If you cross that line with my family, I'm gonna fold you like a chair. I promise you, I'm
Yeah,
gonna butt
yeah.
hair. And other than that, then we're cool. Shit, if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But don't come at me with no dumb, you know, no retarded stuff talking about, oh well, this person. No, I'm not this person. Don't do that to me. Don't put me on the spotlight because I'm gonna fold you. Other than that, all we wanted to do when we bowled was go in, kick everybody's ass, and have a good time. That's all we did.
Well, let's talk about some things that we got coming up this week.
100%.
Start off with they got Rutgers as 2.5 point favorites over the University of Miami, and I think that's mainly because of this young man right here. Hold on, let me pull his picture up. This young man has been with the Canes, but he hasn't played. He's going to play this week. He's going to be the starting quarterback, and I think because he didn't play none this year is why we're going ahead as underdog. But I like the fact that University of Miami is the underdog in this game
100%.
because they're thinking, they're not going to do nothing. Rutgers is
Well,
going to
well,
come in here
well,
and bang their
well.
butt.
Here's the thing with that. Here's the thing. Everybody else on the outside is gonna say this kid, this kid, this kid, this kid, and then they're gonna say it's only a bowl game. Nobody plays. But let me tell you something about this kid. He's gonna play the bowl game, and he's gonna play it like as if his season depends on it. Because his
Right,
season doesn't stop now. His season does not stop now. His season continues on. And what's going to happen is people are going to sell him short. Now, here's the other thing, and this is one of the things I wanted to bring up because it has a lot to do with that. You get these young black quarterbacks, and I love every single one of them. You know, Rod, I don't rock like that. I love every
right.
one of them. But let's go back 20 years, maybe a little more. Achilles Smith, Jamarcus Russell. These were supposed to be the next best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And what everybody said, the scouting report was these kids could be on their knees and throw the ball 70 yards. We know that because Jamarcus Russell did it prime time. He showed everybody. What happens is if you're not a system quarterback, so now this kid's going to come in, he's going to play football, and he's got all the talent in the world. But here's the difference. When you have 6'5", 350-pound linemen that run 4.8, the game becomes different. Period. You cannot beat that. So now
Right.
all your little scrambling and all your little running, and you can get out of the pocket and do this. Here's the thing. You can get out of the pocket, but realistically, how much time does that buy you? Because if you got some of these guys that, listen, Orlando Brown for the Bengals is like 6'7", 360 pounds. He runs a 4.78 40, and he's like 38 years old. What I'm saying is all these guys, they're not used to playing legitimate NFL players. So, this is why I say this. It's because all these players want to declare early and they want to go. And I get it. You know why? We all know why. Because they're going to get paid. Listen,
Right.
prime example. Joe Milton, Tennessee. That he could throw the ball 100 yards. But look at his what he's done since when he was at Michigan and then went to Tennessee. What did he do? He would run the ball for 100 yards and throw it for like 45. That's not gonna work in the NFL. You're gonna play players that are they're gonna work you, man. That's just what they do. They get paid $80 million a year because these guys are good players. So it's a whole different ball game. I think this kid from Miami has major upside, major. And I hate to tell you, Emery, and I'm not trying to be rude because I'm a Canes diehard fan. Emery he might do it one more year. He's gone. He's gone. Because the players behind him are just too good. They're just too good.
Well, the thing with Jacory that I think this game is tomorrow night is an audition. Not only is it an audition for all other colleges out there in case he decides to enter the transfer
100%,
portal,
100%.
but it's also an audition for Mario Cristobal. If you can go out there and prove that you can handle this team without making the mistakes, without doing the dumb stuff, the bad passes, then that starting job will be yours for next year.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Look, they know at Miami what he's trying to do. And here's the thing. You got to give him 4 or 5 years. You have to. Especially now with the transfer portal, you have to give him some time. Listen, Rod, he's still bringing in top 5, top 3 recruits. He's still bringing them in. So there's a reason why he's doing that. And now people will say, oh, well, then next year he should win 10, 11. No, listen. If he wins 8 games, he's good to go. But let him see, here's the problem nowadays. Nowadays, it's, what have you done for me lately? Rod, you and I both know back in the day when we used to watch college football, it wasn't about that. Coaches got time. They got years. They got things to play with. With the transfer portal, you don't have that anymore. You just don't have it. You don't. There's no way. You could be the best coach in America, and if you're 8-4, guess what? Your job's gone. You're over with. They're going to bring some kid from fucking 3rd division, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but when you have people, listen, Mario Cristobal, are you kidding me? I'm not trying to be like on his side because he's UM, but he knows his stuff. Give him an opportunity to do what he's trying to do. Because listen, he went to Oregon, and in 3 years, Oregon was now they're existing again. They weren't before that. He left. He went to Miami, and everybody, number 4 ranked team, number 7 ranked team, and then they went on a losing streak. He's got the ability. Just give him the players. Let him do what he wants to do with them. Give him a chance. Because if you don't give him a chance, I mean, listen, Kirby Smart is one transfer player away from being jobless. Sorry, but he is. That's the way it works nowadays.
Al says college football is win now. And Larry followed that up by saying they want everything instant championships. We want to win today. We don't want to build nothing. And I agree with both of those young men.
That's exactly what I'm saying. What happens is, and what did they say? Georgia's got like the number 2 or whatever rank, and you know what? They're gonna have that because as long as you're winning, everybody wants to go there.
Right.
Back in the day, people wanted to make programs. These kids don't want to do it anymore. There's too much out there for them to go get. There's NIL money. There's all this stuff, and if you have 8 people in your ear telling you you're going to be the next this, you're going to be the next Deion Sanders, blah, 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 right? And then you got 2 from your home school telling you, well, we're going to make you better. The kids don't care anymore. They want money. They want what they can get right now. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but college football was never like that, man. You played the
Yeah.
game because you played the game because you love the game. Now it's not like that anymore. It's all about what can you do for me now. So if I go to your school, what are you going to do for me? It's not even about what can they do to make themselves better. Nowadays, it's about what can you do for me? Because I'm going to leave my school and I'm a 5-star recruit, right? But yet, if I go to your school, what can you guarantee me? And that's the problem with the transfer portal because to me, it just doesn't make sense. There's too many good players that are not going to get recognized for what they really can do. Because again, if you have a team like Georgia that goes undefeated for 4 years, and then you got 2 players out there that are debating who to go to, I hate to tell you, they're going to Georgia. That's just the bottom line.
That's what Larry just said. Larry said Kobe Young left Miami to go to Georgia.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. You
and
know
Al
why?
said it's a business. When you
That's
started
exactly
offering
what
this
it is.
NIL money, when you started offering this NIL money to players, to me, it's. I mean, I'm all for a player getting a few dollars because
Of course.
the people who are buying these tickets to see the game, they're coming to watch you play. So maybe you should get part of the revenue, but now because of NIL, it's become if I go to a bigger school, I'm gonna get more money. I mean, if I go to
Of course.
Alcorn State, I might get $10,000, but if I go to Georgia, I'm gonna get $100,000.
Well,
And
Rod,
that's
listen. What was his name? Larry. I'm not being rude. I'm trying. Yeah, Larry. So here's the thing. He's absolutely right. Here's the thing. You bring up the best school. Perfect example. Alcorn State or Appalachian State, whatever that team is, that wins
right.
all their stuff, and then they play like a number 2 Michigan team and beat them. Here's the thing. No, you're not going to get seen. It's as simple as that. You're not going to get seen. It's just not going to happen. Well, what happened to back in the day when everybody just played the game and put their talents out there? Because I hate to tell you, whether you play for Appalachian State or you play for Miami, if you're a good player, them NFL scouts are going to know who you are. They know who you are. Now it's about what can I get right now? Not about 2 years. I'm a sophomore, so I got 3 more years to play. But I want money right now. And I know I could get that money. So then they do that. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense because these players are good players. And then what happens is their head gets so big and you draft them number 1 in the draft. And then they go into the NFL and they get rocked by people who literally might have been has-beens like Jadeveon Clowney. I'm sorry, he's a has-been, but he'll rock you. So you can't come into the NFL and think what you did in college is going to work because it just doesn't work. It's not going to. You're going to get hammered. But nowadays, it's everybody getting money. That's what they want. There's got to be something they can do to change it because if this player says, shit, I can leave right now. Listen, you leave a program like Miami and you go to Alabama, you're not losing anything. You're
Right.
going to a good program. And then it's about what you're going to give me to do that. And I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Too many good players are going to be unseen because of that.
I got a perfect example for you. There was a small college, Mississippi Valley State, that produced one of the greatest wide receivers in the history of the NFL, Jerry Rice.
Yep, absolutely. But Rod, let's be realistic. 30 years ago, it's 30 years. They weren't
That's what I'm saying.
and it's not right because that's what I'm talking about. Those types of players are going to go under the radar because listen, it's two things. I stay loyal and I do what I committed to, or I try to rock and go to Georgia or go to Tennessee or go to Alabama. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. The money has opened up these kids' eyes, and it's like, are you going to play the game because you love it still, or are you going to play it because you want money? And it's a business. I get it, but come on.
Yeah,
man.
well, Al says the game is going to suffer because the hunger is gone due to NIL money, and that that is true.
100%, 100%.
I mean, nowadays you're gonna have all of the great players, all the good players going to these SEC schools or maybe the ACC schools because that's who's offering the most NIL money. So what happens to these?
Check this out. They're leaving schools based on what the schools are doing right now. What happened to back in the day? What happened to back in the day when you wanted to be? All right, here, and I'm going to bring it up. And yes, I'm a Canes fan, so I'm going to bring them up because it's an example. What happened to Clinton Portis? What happened to Sean Taylor? What happened to those types of players that want to come up, right? And nobody knows their name, and then they explode. You don't have to worry about that anymore because guess what? You can leave this school right now and go here and get $2 million just because you showed up. That's the problem. These kids are not playing football anymore it's funny because they'll say, man, I play the game because I love it. Really? Well, you transferred 3 times and got $2 million out of it. You're not playing it because you love it. You're playing it because you want to get paid. That doesn't make sense to me.
Because if you loved it, you would have went to your school of your first choice and you'd have stayed there.
Exactly. Listen, if you loved it and you gave a commitment, then you stay. Period.
Right. Honor your commitment. Because you got to think about something. All these kids that's transferring in the portal, where were their schools when they were being recruited? You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You didn't recruit me. You didn't recruit me when I was coming out of high school. This school recruited me, so this is where my loyalty should lie. Because they took the time to come to my house, to talk to my parents.
100%.
Now
100%.
All of a sudden I become a good player. Now you want to come try to recruit me because of the NIL and I can transfer. Now you want to try to recruit me, but where there's no more loyalty.
No, and you're 100% right. But to piggyback off what you just said, you said it. Your words were, you didn't recruit me, right?
Right.
So now they have a good year. They have a year or two that might be good. Okay? Now all of a sudden the schools you wanted to play for, now they're knocking on your door. So now it's put up or shut up. Do you want to be the player that loves the game of football, or do you want to be that player that's chasing fame? You want people to see your face. Listen, I don't care if you play for Bethune-Cookman or anywhere else. If you are good enough to play in the NFL, they are going to find you. They will find you. That's why people get paid all that money to recruit and scout and do all that. They will find you. See, you don't even have to have a big-time name. You go ahead and have that 1 year, and here's the other thing they're looking at, and I hate to listen, NFL people, listen, money talks, people walk, that's fine. I'm telling you what they're looking at. They're looking at who is that player that when shit got hard, they stayed where the hell they said they were going to stay. Who did that? That's what they're looking for. Because in the NFL, let me tell you, shit gets tough real quick. And if you're not ready to handle it, I promise you, those scouts and those combine guys and all those whatever, they're not going to even bring your name up.
Larry, did you mean Shannon Sharp? You put Shannon Sharp. Shannon going shopping?
He's got enough money.
Yeah, he do. You know, the thing with us as fans, we've grown to okay, you want your team to be competitive,
Of course.
but at the same time, you hate to see you train up a athlete, a player, and then when he gets to his junior senior year, after 2 years of training under you, he packs up and moves, packs
Right.
up and goes to another
Exactly.
school. Now I mean, we all feel like Van Dyke
Give me 1
had
minute.
issues
1
after
minute.
Van Dyke okay. After Van Dyke got hurt, we all realized that
Little
he
month
wasn't
coming
the same quarterback he was before. But is he the best thing that we have available right now? But because of the transfer portal, if you lose your best player, it doesn't matter to you because you can go into the transfer portal and find you another player. So this football that used to be a sport is no longer a sport. Football now has become a business, and we as fans are the ones who are going to suffer because eventually there's only going to be a few good teams playing out there. There's only, football, college football has gotten to be like the NFL. In the NFL, you sign a 2-year contract, 3-year contract, and you stay with that team for those 3 years until you're either traded or you're either cut. College now is you sign with a team and you stay with them until somebody comes along and offers you some other NIL money, and then you pack up and you leave your loyalty behind. And I
Sorry
don't
about
think
that.
that's right. But we gotta figure out about as a professional. I mean, well, as a college athlete, what's more important to you? And I guess money is more important because that's where everybody's leaning right now. Money's the big issue. Not let me stay here because you recruited me, and you were the one who called my mama and my daddy every day for my senior year, my junior and
Right.
senior year when I was in high school.
It's flat out loyalty. It's loyalty.
There is no loyalty.
They came to your house 100 times. They begged you to come play for them, and when you agreed, I hate to tell you, see, when you go to college, you're supposed to be considered a man. You made a man's decision. I don't give a shit if they don't win a game for 3 years. That doesn't mean you can't be a good player. You can
Right.
still be a good player. Listen, let's go back in the day. All right. Now he was badass, but they had so many running backs and so much things that made things easy for them that they could spread the field out. What was it, Andre King? Is that his name?
For you in Miami?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He was on those teams, but it was well before all this happened. Here's the thing with Andre. Andre played the game. Now listen, he was dumb because he did stupid shit. He did shit that FSU players did and broke the rule, whatever. But what I'm saying is talent wise, he had all the ability in the world. And he gave it up for dumb shit. But what I'm simply saying is you can't listen. Here's the thing. People like to opt out, right? They want to get out and they want to go get paid because they're juniors and they've done it all. I hate to tell you, at 1921, you have not seen shit yet. So no, you have not done it all. So now, perfect example. I'm going to say it right now. I saw it today. Joe Milton, Tennessee, right?
Uh-huh.
He played for Michigan for a year, I think, or maybe two, maybe one. I think it was just one, right? And they talked about how this guy's legs, he's the next Michael Vick. He's this. Listen, don't worry about being the next Michael Vick. Be who you are. Because Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, Those guys who kept it real threw the ball from their knees 70 yards. So nowadays, you get these young kids that can say the same thing. Well, I could throw it 70 yards from my knees. Yeah, but you're not a full quarterback. You're not a complete player. You're not. Because I hate to tell you, there will not be another Randall Cunningham or Warren Moon. There just won't be. You can play the game and reach, and I hope you do play the game and reach for that, because that's a good thing to reach for. But it's no more. And Rod, it sucks because we love sports. It will not be what it could be because they have invested in these kids' time. The hell with the fact that they go to a college that's $40,000 a year and they get a great education and all that. That it doesn't matter anymore. See, listen, even when McCaffrey went to college, it was better. He's what's he been in the league 6 years? And he's like the best player in the whole league. You don't have to be a star. All you gotta do is just play your game. They're gonna come find you. The problem is they will not do that anymore because now you got all these owners and these GMs and all these people are on a hot seat. We got to get the next best thing. Well, I hate to tell you, with transfer portal, it's Russian roulette. Bottom line, it's Russian roulette. You do not know who you're going to get. It's not going to happen. It's just not.
And then you look at these players. Just because they had one good year in college doesn't mean that once they transfer to your school, they're going to be just as good. Because you got to look at everything. You got to look at the linemen, the players around that particular player, the offensive scheme, the defensive scheme. That's probably what made that player great. Now he's going into a different system, and he might not be able to adapt to the same style that this new coach is putting out. So now he's not as good as he used to be when he was at the University of Georgia, or he's not as good as he used to be when he was at the University of Alabama.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's exactly my point. What happens is just because you switch schools, it means nothing. Listen, it doesn't mean you're not talented. That's not what it means. But listen, the same school as the one you left still has to be able to block for you. They still have to be able to give you time to throw the ball. You know what I mean? So, okay, you might have one or two games where you throw 350 yards. Hey, now all of a sudden, Kirk Herbstreit and Corso, everybody wants to talk and say he's the best in the world. And then he has two games where he throws for 140 yards, and they go, well, what happened to him? What happened to him was you built this kid up. You're not giving this kid a chance. Because I hate to tell you, they're 19, 18, 20 years old. They're still kids. You got to give them a chance to be kids. They will figure it out. They'll figure it out if you leave them alone. The problem is when you got these types of players, Rod, you cannot leave them alone. Now because you got this guy was a 5-star recruit at Georgia, so now he has to come to our school and put up numbers that they're just unrealistic. And then when he doesn't do it, those same Kirk Herbstreits and Lee Corsos are talking shit about him. And then he has one more game 2 weeks later that blows their minds, and everybody doesn't know what to do. What you need to do is you need to sit back and let these kids be kids. Now, what I don't like, and I've made it clear, I don't like the fact that they're switching up. Because I think it shows no loyalty. I get it. I understand it. You want to win now? Dude, you're 19, 20 years old. How many people have won the national title in college football and never set foot on an NFL field?
Yeah.
Do the research. Just do the research. I'm telling you.
How many NFL teams did Charlie Ward play for?
Yeah, exactly. Charlie Ward made his name playing basketball.
Yeah.
But he was the next, quote, best thing coming out of college. No.
Right.
No. It when you get to that level, it changes. Everything changes. Did he have the talent? Did he have the ability? 100%. Was he able to bring that over? Absolutely not. No, he was not. That's why he went where he went. And the difference between him and these guys nowadays is, you don't get too many players that cross over like that. That's rare. Um, and again, Rod, that has a lot to do with, especially the last couple of years. What can we give you to make you play for us this year? And
Yeah.
then guess what? You win a national title, right? And everybody says you're the next best thing. Don't get drafted. They bring you in as a free agent. You sign a $300,000 contract a year, and then 2 years later, your career's over because you blew your knee out. It's crazy. These kids are like, there's got to be people. And hey, you know the old saying, when you got kids that act a certain way and carry on and do things, what do they say? It all starts at home.
Yeah.
You
That's
gotta
what they
have good.
do.
You gotta have good backbone. You have to. You gotta have good backbone because I hate to tell you, 95% of the people in college, if not more, will never see NFL. They just won't. They could break it off all year long in college, and then like I said, then they get involved with people that are 6'5", 350 pounds, running 4'5", 4'8". Like, no, it's a whole nother world in the NFL. And these kids think because they're putting on a show in college, it just doesn't work. Like, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be the first one to say it, and I wish no ill will. I'm going to tell you something. Caleb Williams, you're dumb for drafting him. Don't. I'm telling you, don't draft that kid. He's going to be another Jamarcus Russell. I'm telling you. He's got all
Wow.
the talent in the world. So did Jamarcus Russell. He hasn't seen shit yet. Look, when he saw certain things this year, look what they finished. 7-5. They were ranked number 5 in the year. Supposed to be national title contenders. Based on him. They said it plain as day. Based on him, they were supposed to be national title contenders. And look what happened. 7-5, the Sun Bowl or whatever you want to call it. Great, because you're not going to play anyway, so it don't matter. Hate to tell you, if you take him number 1, you're a dumbass because there's better players. There's better players like the Bosa's, you know what I mean? The Watts. There's players that'll anchor your line or anchor your defense for the next 10 years instead of trying to go for some showboat kid. I'm not knocking the kid because he's got talent. We've been here before, Rod. We've been here before. He's not that good. I'm sorry. He's not that good. He proved it this year. They can't beat anybody winning with a winning record. And if they do win, it's 58-53. Really? Really? So your team gives up 53 points and you win by 5 and you think you're good? Get out of here. No, it takes more than that. And he's going to learn because somebody's going to draft him in the first round, probably the first 10 picks, and he's going to go into the league and somebody's going to ring his bell and he's going to go, what the hell did I get into? Because there's just no comparison, man. Does he have talent? 100%. Off the boards. But he hasn't played in the NFL yet. You got 350-pound guys running 4.8s. You got a problem there. They don't do that.
Yeah, that is true. When you get to the NFL, I heard a player one time say that once he got to the NFL, he was not used to defensive linemen running down running backs.
Of course.
But that's what you do.
Exactly. But here's the thing. And I'm going to say this and remember this because I'm going to say it. And when the time comes, I want you to remember it. Michael Penix Jr. blew out both his knees.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee you right now, $100 for whoever wants to do it. Says he has a better career than Caleb Williams. Guarantee it. He's a smart quarterback. He plays the game with his head. Caleb Williams plays it with his ability. You could have all the ability in the world. You got to be smart up here. You got to know when to take a hit, when not to. And Penix suffering those injuries and still being what he's been doing, he understands what this game is about. I'm not saying Caleb Williams isn't a better as far as talent goes. No, he probably is better than talent wise. But you got a quarterback that's been there, done that. He was never supposed to play again. And look, he's got the second, third best team in the country. And it's because of what he's doing. You know, he's a good player, man. And he understands, listen, I'm not going to make millions of dollars. You want to know what he wants to do? What we talked about. He wants to play the game because he loves the game.
Because he loves the
That's
game,
it.
right?
That's all he wants to do.
Well, before we get out of here, let's talk about what we got coming up this weekend for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that's big time, man.
Yeah, the Dolphins are going into the game as underdogs, but you expected that.
Well, yeah, because they just beat the 49ers. Of course they're going to be.
Right. The Dolphins are 3.5-point underdogs with an over under of 47.5. This game is going to define the Dolphins' season. I mean, yeah, we came back and beat Baltimore last year in Baltimore, but now we're going to have to do. And Baltimore, believe me, they ain't forgot that. They have not forgotten what the Dolphins did to them last year in their stadium. And here we go back to Baltimore again to try to do it all over again. So Tua, you're gonna have to be just as good as you were last year in Baltimore. But let's not get down like we got last year. And I'm gonna tell you, somebody who was just watching the game, who's not a Dolphin fan like me and Brian, they probably turned that game off long before the end because the Dolphins were looking horrible.
Yeah.
But in the end, they came back and they did what they had to do. They came back and they won the game. Now you got an angry Baltimore team who's going to be fighting for the number one seed in our conference. So, and they already get mad because you beat them at their home field last year. So now they got two things that they're going to be playing for. They're going to come out with guns ablaze. They're going to come out. They probably got a whole new package for the Dolphins. And one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to find a way to keep that quarterback from running all over us like he's been doing everybody else.
Hey, can I tell you how they do that?
How they do that?
Run the ball.
And eat the clock up. Yeah.
Run the ball. Simple as that. They run the ball. They keep Lamar off the field. They have to run the ball, and they have to run it right. Keep Lamar off because, listen, I don't even like Lamar Jackson. But if you put him on the field, you got problems. Right? Because he can throw the ball, he can run the ball. You have to run the ball. And what the running the ball does, even if you're down 10-3, run the ball. Just run it. You will shut them up because if they can't get on the field, you got a chance to win the game. And if you give the Dolphins a chance to win the game with a minute to go and all they got to do is go 20 yards, I hate to tell you, I wouldn't want to be defending that defense or that offense. That offense is nasty. They'll score points in no time. You have to run. They have listen, even if they have to shoot back down like they did to Wilson, think about it. You got Mozart, A-Chain, and Wilson. I want you to tell me another NFL team right now that has that in their back pocket.
Oh yeah.
They don't have that, dude. Everybody talks about A-Chain and Mozart, and then Wilson goes in there and runs the ball 4-3 in a 40, and it's like, where the hell did this guy come from? They have players. They have to block and run the ball. If they run the ball, it stops them from being on the field. It takes up time. and then they poke one in, and next thing you know, they're up by 4. That's what. Because if not, listen, that passing game and all that, that's great. The Baltimore Ravens are the #1 defensive team in the league for a reason. They've got probably the 2 best linebackers in the game. You know, they're that good. So if you give them an opportunity to set up and guard against screens and that kind of small shit that the Dolphins play, no, run the ball. I'm telling you, if they run the ball, it won't even be close. They'll beat them by 20 points. It's as simple as that. Baltimore is not that good. They're not. But if you put Lamar on the field with the ball in his hand, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, especially with those defensive backs we have, we know we're not going to have any problem covering downfield. So therefore, if Lamar don't have anybody to throw to, he's got nothing to do but to try to run, try to dump it off to the receiver. So our linebackers and our nickelback, they got to control this game. But we'll see what happens. It's been a great show. I want to thank. Hold on, we got one more comment in here.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
No, it just say Larry said they need to spy as well. Larry, that's what we were just saying. They need if they're gonna have to put a extra nickel back in to spy on Lamar. Because if you don't spy Lamar, and you know what, even sometimes spying don't work. Because the game they just played, I watched that game and they had the defense had a spy. But what happens is once Lamar gets to scrambling around in that backfield, and that spy is trying to run back and forth with Lamar. And then he got caught up in the wash, and Lamar broke out to the outside, and then the spy gets knocked off by his own man. So you know we're gonna have to come up with some sort of game plan.
But Rod, that's why it's imperative that they run the ball. Keep him off the field. Don't give him a chance to win. Keep him off the field, because if you keep him off the field, he can't do none of that fancy schmancy shit. Not gonna happen. This ain't Louisville. It's not gonna happen. But if you keep him off the field, your chances are ridiculous. Because look at the stats. Just look at them. You can spy him all you want. He's gonna run. That's what he's gonna do. You know. And the one thing I like, I'm gonna tell you, there's a guy I like on the Dolphins, Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel, yes, that's my buddy.
That dude can play 5 different spots, and he makes the quarterback sink. Man, they had him coming off the edge on Sunday. Off the edge. Are you kidding me?
One of the good things that go in the Dolphins' favor is Lamar Jackson will throw an interception. He's got no problem leaving the ball up once you put that pressure on him. And we got a defensive line, and like you just said, Van Ginkel and Chubb, they're going to put some pressure on Lamar. So if we can keep that defensive pressure on him and make Lamar make some mistakes, we shouldn't have a problem. We should be able to win this game and go into the Buffalo game.
I personally think they're going to make him fumble the ball when it matters. That's my opinion. I think Van Ginkel's going to come around that side, and Chubb's already coming up the other side, and that's going to be a wrap. He's going to fumble the ball when it matters, and the Dolphins are going to win by 3 points.
Well, that's what we need. Like I said, I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in. Al, Larry, I thank you for your comments. We appreciate you. We hope to see you again next week. Me and B, we're going to get some time to go eat now. So we'll talk to you guys. We'll talk to you guys later. And